Mr. Beast. Alex and I, we were like, wow, it'd be amazing if he pushed something like an energy drink, Beast Energy, Beast Mode, something like that. And when we talked to him about it, we were like, man, we still feel like that would be such a good product for you. He said something that was really important, which he was like, I don't believe in giving kids caffeine. He would never represent something that he didn't actually believe in. If you're building a personal brand, pay attention to these 5 things. Most of the people that I've spoken with in the last month in terms of like personal brands are stagnant and they can't figure out why they can't scale. The first mistake that I've seen is that they try to be both the talent and the CEO. So what I've seen is that a lot of people have, called myself or Alex and they've been like, dude, like I can't do it anymore. Like I'm at the point of breaking. And it's because they're trying to do both. They think, okay, well, I've figured out the content machine. Now I've got to go build the business. And so what tends to happen is that one, the content starts to slow down because inevitably they put their attention into the business. And so you only have so much attention, it's finite. And here's what I have realized. I really know how to build businesses. Does that mean that I know how to build a brand? No, it is a completely different skill set. I have had to learn from all different kinds of mentors. And so what does that mean? It means that just because you're good and you have competency in one area of your life does not mean it's going to transfer over to the other. And so I think the first thing to realize is, are you the talent or are you the CEO? My attention is full-time on CEO. Does that mean that I'm going to be the best content creator ever? Absolutely not. It's probably going to be way worse than it could be. The biggest thing that you can do for yourself as a favor is if you have a prominent personal brand and you have millions and millions of eyeballs and hundreds of millions of impressions you're getting, hire somebody else to build the business. Bring somebody on who has the experience building the business like you want to build. I mean, look at somebody like Mr. Beast, for example. Like, go look at who he recruited to build his company. In fact, finding talent as a personal brand might even be easier because more people are likely to respond to you on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, because they see that you have millions of followers. The second mistake that I see most personal brands make is that they build multiple businesses rather than multiple product lines. Anytime I ask someone, I'm like, can I see your entity structure? Let's see how you're structured. It's one thing to have products that are held in a different LLC for legal protection. That makes complete sense. But to then treat them like separate businesses with completely separate teams, separate financials, separate HR, separate marketing, separate sales. That has been what I have seen to create a lot of trouble in a lot of people's businesses. And why is that? If you look at the biggest brands in the world, they have centralized oversight. And so what does that mean? They have a CEO that is CEO of the brand, not of a single product. Then what you want to have is you want to have the CEO, the executive team that's centralized, and then you want to treat these like product lines where you have an operator in each product line that is being quality checked by the executive team of the brand. And so what a lot of people do is they do the opposite. They actually just have different CEOs, different operators, and different executive teams for each one of the products or brands. And what does this do? This creates a whole heck of a lot of overwhelm. Basically, you have like 6 businesses. The second thing that goes wrong here is potency. If your brand is what fuels all of these product lines, then what is the most important thing to protect? Your brand. If you look at some of the biggest brands in the world, they have insane legal protection departments. What do I mean by that? It means like if someone else speaks the brand, if someone else tries to use the brand, advertise the brand without using the language they require, then they will go after them immediately. And so you should think of your brand in that manner, which is, are they selling it in a way that is congruent with their values of brand? Are they servicing it in a way that is congruent with the values of the brand? And I've seen it so many times, brands that are high trust, high loyalty, and then when you get on the phone, they're just like hard closing you, trying to sell you some, like honestly, some bullshit. And the reason is not because that person thinks that that's how you should sell. It's because that person doesn't even know that they're selling that way. It's the same for customer service. I've bought products from some brands that are high trust, high loyalty, very reputable brands. When you get on the phone with their customer service, they couldn't be more rude. Why is that? I assume it's because of this, because they really just have no oversight over what's happening. And you start to lose customers, you start to lose traction, you start to lose attention. And that leads me to the third piece, which is slinging shit. How many people have you seen out there that have amazing brands and they're like pushing the weirdest products, right? Products that they don't talk about, that they don't show that they use, that you don't even know that they like. Maybe it's on their podcast, maybe it's on their channel. They're just advertising something because they're making money. An example of this would be like if Alex tried to push like Rolex or something, or like a suit company, like no way in hell is he wearing a Rolex or a suit. So obviously it would be incongruent with the brand. Is there anything wrong with making money off your audience? No, but is it going to be favorable in the long term to try and make money in a way that is not congruent with who you are? In the short term, you might make some money on those freaking ads, but in the long term, you're probably gonna lose money because you're gonna lose customers, you're gonna lose eyeballs, you're gonna lose trust. So a good example of this is actually Mr. Beast. We had a conversation, Alex and I, where we were like, wow, it'd be amazing if he pushed something like an energy drink, Beast Energy, Beast Mode, something like that. And when we talked to him about it, we were like, man, we still feel like that would be such a good product for you. And he said something that was really important, which he was like, I don't believe in giving kids caffeine. I don't want to push things that aren't good for them. He's like, my chocolate only has a few ingredients and that's why I'm proud of putting it out there. He would never represent something that he didn't actually believe in. The fourth mistake is misidentifying where success in the business is going to come from. A lot of the time, what I see is that somebody thinks that they need to develop a completely new product that is like brand new innovation in order to be successful in business. What you have to realize is that your brand is what differentiates your product, not the product itself. And so there's no need to add extra complexity. Business and building a brand are complex enough on their own. Trying to also build a product that is, a leader in innovation is going to throw so much into the mix. And what I've seen more often than not is that fails. Like Kylie Jenner, for example. Is there anything actually different about her makeup? I have bought it, so I can tell you, not really. It's fine, but it's no different than a lot of other makeup. Another example would be like the Rock tequila. Love the Rock, love the tequila, but is there anything really that different between his tequila and a different tequila? Not really. It's just him representing the brand. That is what the competitive advantage is. The reason that people buy from a brand, because they relate to the brand, they trust the brand, they like the brand. And so it's whatever that person has to sell or associate with, those people want. You can actually have a very simple product and use your brand to promote it and probably actually want to sell more than if you did create some crazy innovative product. The fifth and last mistake that I see most personal brands and influencers make is outsourcing the core machine. Okay, so what is the core machine when it comes to a personal brand or a content creator influencer? It's the content team. If you're looking at your personal brand like you would look at a business, every business has strategic hires. And a strategic hire is a hire that you're willing to invest more in, and that's best to have closest to the core of the business, meaning have it in-house, not out-house, because it is aligned with the strategy of the business as a whole. So an example for this would be in manufacturing. Having the supply chain manager, somebody who you probably pay more for this role, you probably get them immediately, and they're probably in-house, that is a very important role. So if you think about your personal brand like a business, then it would make sense that you would invest in your content team in that way. And so a lot of what I see in terms of pain of people that have a personal brand is that they don't have full control, full artistic control over what's going out there. And here's the thing, if you want to scale your brand, you need people on your team who can think about your brand on your behalf. This is a strategic area where it makes the most sense, in my opinion, for most personal brands, people with tens of millions of followers, to invest in having an in-house content team. And if you don't have that amount yet, say you don't have millions of followers, but you want to, I would say invest in the content team now. Because the thing is that if you want to get there, you need alignment in your brand and you need people who understand you more than they understand how to get views.